Hello and welcome back, everybody. Now, we all know that Catwoman is the bad. Oh shoot, wrong video. We all know that the Arkham games are quite unsettling at moments, tilting even more towards horror aspects. Now, these feelings of unsettling, like just moments, really do make the Arkham games what they are. And so, here are the Arkham Boss team. Well, yeah, just me, but I thought, why don't we go over the most unsettling moments in the Arkham games, because there's a lot, and you already know my biggest op is gonna be in this video. Anyways, before we start, I just wanted to mention the Discord per usual. I really would appreciate it if you wouldn't mind joining. It's interesting. But anyways, I'm gonna do more of like moments in the Arkham games today rather than like Easter eggs or like details you can find to switch it up a bit. Other than that, let's just get straight into the first one. I guess I may as well start off with the first Arkham game and with one of my favorite cutscenes in the entire game because it's so random and unexpected in my opinion. This cutscene with the Psychos jumping out the screen towards Batman with the doctors inside screaming, begging for help. This short cutscene really does help show the more brutal and dark aspects of Arkham Asylum rather than the usual Batman Rogue Gallery villains we see sitting in their cells. We finally get a great look at the people who aren't in the limelight of villainy in Gotham. Just the people who are so mentally gone and unstable that they're put in the most renowned asylum in the world. The situation in Arkham Asylum was desperate, and Batman was really desperate to end it. You could almost say Bruce was down bad.
Oh, hell no, man.
Anyways, seeing the Psychos in the game bolster that signature eerie feeling that made us all love the Arkham games in the way we do. They're not some boisterous, weird supervillain. They're the people who have been truly affected by Gotham and the world, or other mental disorders, of course. But when I first played Asylum, and when I still do now, being nervous the entire game is a regular feeling because some random guy screaming, wanting to kill you, could just pop out of nowhere and jump scare you. I mean, to be honest, I got jump scared more in Asylum by the Psychos than any other Arkham game's jump scares. Another moment I wanted to bring up tied into this one is seeing all the Psychos in their cages when walking through this section of Asylum. If you happen to turn on detective mode right before walking in, man, that's a scary sight. And at the same time, there's still other Psychos out of their cells who want to jump your ass. Anyways, Arkham Asylum was a complete mess at this point. I mean, I wouldn't even blame Gotham if they just wanted to nuke it. We've got a 9-foot crocodile who wants to kill everybody, a guy dressed as a ScareDcrow trying to inflict his fear toxin on everybody there, or even poison the Gotham water supply for fun. Harley, Batty, Quinn, Poison Ivy, a woman who has control over a bunch of giant plant monsters, and Bane? But nah bro, Bane's hella chill.
You knew it would not kill me.
I wasn't trying to. I'm in no mood for a fight. What are you doing here?
Dr. Young's.
And of course, all the Psychos who the psychiatrists are gonna have so much fun trying to treat. And no, I did not forget about the man who likes to murder women and after killing them, pose their bodies like they're still alive. Then going ahead and inscribing a tally onto his body. So yeah, good group of people they got over in the Arkham. But I'll quick complain about all these characters. They did indeed create a truly masterpiece of a game and one of my favorites of all time. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a bit, or have at least seen some of my vids, there's a pretty good chance you would know about my #1 op. A man that is downright evil, disgusting, and literally has 0 redeeming factors. At least Joker has a good fit. Mad Hatter is a complete and utter bum. But anyways, the exact moment I'm talking about is back in Arkham Origins, where after completing his side mission and rescuing his Alice, we come to find that she's crying, and when Bruce goes to tell her that it's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay, she replies, no,
It's
it
not.
won't be, heavily implying with some other factors that Mad Hatter sexually assaulted her, and no, she won't ever be okay. Even in the animated series, he was a complete weirdo. But besides the obvious, I've added this moment because this scene takes you out of a more fantasized version of the Arkham games that are amazing and have amazingly fantastical characters so far in the series, like a giant Titan Joker or giant piranha plants, and this creates a more realistic fear in you, one that puts you at more ground level with the people of Gotham. Because behind all these cool, creepy villains and superheroes, you still have things like Mad Hatter and what he did to Alice that completely changed the way you perceive that moment you're in. This is something I've spoken about before pertaining to Arkham Knight. The game is a whole different vibe from its predecessors for many reasons, but I believe one of them is because of its overall feel, having things that are more realistic to our world, like serial killers and the missions we have to hunt them, and of course other aspects. This is the reason why Knight is probably my favorite game. It's just able to bring in a new sense of fear that is so different in comparison to other Arkham games, and the intro, man, it's so beautiful. Back to Mad Hatter, Even in City, when Bruce is kidnapped, that moment just felt so off. A bit like the Red Dead mission where Arthur is kidnapped and taken inside the cabin and some other stuff happens to him. But seeing all of Hatter's goons in masks clearly being mind controlled, I mean, I don't even want to think about what he's done to them or made themselves do. But Hatter's always been a creep in every continuity we see him in, and Arkham Origins makes no exception. I mean, let's just hope next time we see this happen again, because, let's be honest here, that was indeed the best part of the side mission. Now, speaking of Arkham Knight's intro, man, it was creepy. Seeing the end of the biggest villain in the world and what's become of him in the end, and we get to do the final job and cremate Joker while Frank Sinatra's Under My Skin plays, of course beckoning at the fact that Joker's gonna get to Batman, or he's already under his skin, which we see a lot of in Night with the Joker appearing and speaking of Bruce throughout it. Joker will never truly leave Bruce, even though at the end of Night we technically do see Bruce getting rid of the Joker. He's somebody who's left too far of a mark on him to truly be forgotten. Plus, he's obviously back in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Anyways, this scene is just so random, in a good way of course, but I don't think anybody expected to be cremating Joker the first few seconds of their Arkham Knight experience. As well as this, I don't know if it's technically canon or true, but I mean, Joker literally wakes up during the cremation process and laughs hysterically. I can't imagine this actually happened, but it was still a great little jump scare that hopefully prepared you for the game, because we do end up with one of the most famous in the series being Man-Bat pertaining to jump scares. And going back to what I mentioned earlier, cremating Joker really did set up the vibe for what Night is going to be. Something realistic like cremating a dead person, then turning it into a horror fest when they wake up mid-process. And of course, it led into the true main antagonist of the Arkham games. Can't wait for the comments. ScareDcrow, who in himself is just as maniacal, but did his main objective in a way that made sure to haunt every last soul in Gotham City. Seeing patrons turn on each other and kill one another, regular Gotham citizens, kidnapping Barbara and making Bruce think she killed herself right in front of him, and more. ScareDcrow is the definition of a villain who has power that is quite realistic and plausible, to an extent of course, but can't be having New York City filled with fear toxin. Though it already seems like it is.
Understand how tough New York pigeons are, bro. Y'all do not understand this, bro. Go ahead, Kevin. My boy. Get out the way! Oh.
But point is, Knight excelled in creating a more realistic horror factor with the Joker's psychological effects on Bruce throughout the game and their interactions. And I do hope in the future they do continue with this, as Warner Bros. And Rocksteady are speaking on the topic of Batman games, so yeah, pretty exciting news. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Let's head back to the asylum and take a look at one of the best cutscenes in the entire series. The moment when ScareDcrow himself was truly fearful again. Now, I am talking about when Croc grabbed ScareDcrow in the sewers right before he dropped fear toxin into the water supply under Asylum, which would have made Bruce's job so much more difficult. But anyways, this moment is not here because Croc is scary, but unsettling because we finally see Dr. Crane terrified, screaming for his life. And this moment fucked him up so bad that he got himself a nice little wardrobe change at night. But in all seriousness, seeing a character whose entire life and goal is derived from fear, one whose only goal is to spread fear and promote its usefulness, terrified, screaming because he's about to get mauled by a massive crocodile. He inflicts fear, but when it happens to him, evidently he's not all too fond of it. I've said this many times, but as prevalent as ScareDcrow is in the Arkham games, I mean, the man's gotta be up there with the top two most important villains in this series. Asylum, he was a menace. City, he was planning for Night. And in Night, I mean, the man's taken over Gotham and doing it in a way that turned its own citizens against each other and forcing everyone else out. That's the most ScareDcrow way there is. The only other time I can remember when ScareDcrow in the Arkham series is truly dumbfounded or terrified, besides in Asylum, is the end of Arkham Knight, where Batman tanks the fear toxin, stabs Crane with his own fear toxin formula, and says it's not possible. To me, that's one of my favorite moments of ScareDcrow. These two really are. Having your biggest weapon used against you right when you think you've won. I mean, the look in ScareDcrow's eyes is truly unsettling. But I don't know what I like more, his appearance in Asylum or in Night. I think it was truly great in Asylum because it helped create and develop the core aspects of horror in the game, and some really cool ones of that, like when the screen would start to glitch, sort of breaking the fourth wall, or even seeing Gordon dying. I definitely got tricked a couple times there at the Asylum, not gonna lie. And of course, we see Bruce's dead parents in Asylum, per usual. They seem to appear in every single Arkham game. Poor Bruce, man. Anyways, let's be honest here, ScareDcrow had it coming. You know, Croc has escaped and is somewhere in the Asylum, above or below, and big surprise, he went into the sewers. And so it probably wasn't the smartest of ideas to try and poison his swimming water, you know, his home within the sewers. I mean, for a man who took control of Blackgate, not the smartest of moves in my opinion. But let's go ahead and switch gears to the most unsettling character in the Arkham series. I want you to think real hard on this one. And yeah, I mean, it's gotta be the Pig himself, Professor Pyg. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Professor Pyg is a terrifying and extremely unsettling character within the series. And to me, a prime example is when Batman finally arrives at his hidden location and, well, catches Pyg doing what he does best. Dollatronizing people, that's the word for it. Anyways, seeing these innocent people turn into these lifeless, animatronic-like beings who follow all of Professor Pyg's orders, and to even get to this point in the mission, you have to go around the city trying to find strung-up bodies of his latest victims, and during these mini-quests, scanning and analyzing the bodies of the victims, the game shows real pictures of people and the various cities they're from around the US, which to me just makes it all feel so much more realistic. A real name and face behind these faceless people, strung up on a random rooftop in Gotham City. The fear they must have felt in their last moments alive, being hunted by a serial-killing pig who wants to turn them into lifeless Dollatrons. I really did hope we could see more of Laszlo in the game because, besides his last boss fight, it was fine, since he's a really interesting and more grounded villain that, kind of like I spoke upon earlier, instills such a feeling of dread and overall an unsettling emotion that ties you deeper into the plot. But at the end of the day, we saw him as much as the others, and I really am glad they decided to add him in. I mean, it was better than the Deacon Blackfire mission, to say the least. Please give us Killer Moth back in the Arkham games. Anyways, getting off topic here, that's about it for today. Man, are the Arkham games so freaking unsettling? And there's a ton more, so please do let me know if you guys want to see a part 2, and what moments you want to see included, because there's a lot. But other than that, I would really appreciate again if you guys could check out the Discord. We're really trying to expand it more and more. I would highly appreciate it. Also, shout out to my awesome mod, Joseph Seed. But other than that, I've got a ton of other Arkham content on the channel I recommend checking out if you're a fan of the series. They're really all great vids, and of course, no bias here, but they're really cool, and so I would really appreciate checking them out. But other than that, thank you for watching. Make sure to stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.